The first day of school always carried a nervous energy that hung in the air like a mist. Students walked through the halls with chatter, laughter, and the squeak of sneakers on the polished floor. Some were excited, some were anxious, and some simply didn't care. But for Marcus, the boy who had just moved into the city, it felt like stepping into a world that had already decided where everyone belonged. He was new, unfamiliar, and on top of that, different. His dark skin and quiet presence stood out among the majority of faces in his new school, and while he tried to blend in, the weight of being noticed was heavy on his shoulders. Marcus had moved with his mother from Atlanta to this suburban town after she found a better. The neighborhood looked neat, quiet, and safe. But Marcus knew safety was never something you could take for granted in a school filled with kids, who sometimes thrived on mocking anyone they considered outsiders. He wasn't the type to start trouble. In fact, his mother always reminded him to stay calm, stay polite, and never use his fists unless there was no other choice. It was advice he carried with him everywhere, though what most people didn't know was that Marcus's fists were far from ordinary. Back in Atlanta, Marcus had been training in martial arts since he was 6. His uncle, a former national kickboxing champion, had taken him under his wing, teaching him discipline, focus, and precision. Over the years, Marcus didn't just learn how to fight, he learned control. He practiced 4 hours combining different styles: karate, taekwondo, Muay Thai, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. By the time he was 13, he had already competed in tournaments and earned trophies, though he never bragged about them. Fighting was not about showing off. It was about respect and self-mastery. But none of this mattered to his new classmates, who only saw him as the quiet black kid sitting alone in the cafeteria. The first week passed without major incidents, though Marcus noticed the way some kids looked at him. Curiosity mixed with judgment. Whispers followed him, sometimes laughter. He shrugged it off, keeping his head down, sketching in his notebook, and focusing on surviving each day. But school had a way of testing new kids, and soon Marcus found himself in the crosshairs of the ones who enjoyed making others feel small. The bullies weren't hard to spot. They walked through the halls like they owned them, loud and arrogant. Tyler, the self-proclaimed leader of the group, was tall for his age, with messy blonde hair and a smirk that never left his face. His friends, Jake and Ryan, followed him everywhere, laughing at his jokes, echoing his insults, and backing him up whenever he decided to pick a target. Together, they were known for their cruelty-mocking kids who were overweight, nerdy, or just different. The teachers tried to keep them in check, but Tyler had a way of twisting situations, making himself look innocent while his victims suffered in silence. Marcus first encountered them during lunch on a Friday. He was sitting at the corner table, eating the sandwich his mother packed for him, when he noticed shadows looming over him. Tyler leaned forward, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Well, look who's hiding over here. The new kid. What's your name again? Maurice? Malcolm? Or does it even matter? Marcus looked up calmly, his dark eyes steady. It's Marcus, he said simply, not giving them the reaction they were hoping for. Jake snorted. Marcus, huh? Figures? You don't talk much, do you? What's wrong? Too shy to hang with the rest of us? Or maybe you think you're better than us, Ryan added with a smirk. Betty's just scared, probably never even been in a real fight. Tyler laughed, loud enough for nearby tables to turn and watch. Yeah, look at him, sitting here all quiet, eating his little sandwich. Hey Marcus, you ever even throw a punch before? Or do you just run home to your mommy? Marcus felt the sting of their words, but he stayed composed. His mother's voice echoed in his head. Don't let their words control you. You know who? You are. He took a bite of his sandwich and looked away, refusing to fuel their entertainment. That only made Tyler's smirk widen. Bullies thrived on reaction, and when they didn't get one, they pushed harder. Tyler leaned closer, his hand suddenly snatching the sandwich from Marcus's hand. This looks pathetic. What even is this? Turkey and cheese? Man, no wonder. You're so small, you can't even eat like a real man. Jake and Ryan laughed, crumpling Marcus's lunch bag and tossing it to the floor. Students nearby chuckled, some whispering, others recording the scene with their phones. Embarrassment burned in Marcus's chest, but he clenched his jaw and stayed still. He could have ended this in a second one strike, one throw, and Tyler would be on the ground. But that wasn't the way. Not yet. Nothing to say? Tyler mocked, taking a bite of the stolen sandwich. Guess you're just gonna sit there and take it. Welcome to your new school, Marcus. Better get used to it. The group walked away laughing, leaving Marcus to pick up the crushed lunch bag from the floor. He felt the stares, the whispers, the silent pity from a few students who knew exactly how it felt to be on the receiving end of Tyler's cruelty. Marcus didn't cry. He didn't shout. He simply threw away the remains of his lunch, sat back down, and quietly reminded himself. Patience, control, they don't know who they're dealing with. But word spread quickly. By the next week, almost everyone in school knew about the new kid being picked on. Some felt sorry for him, others joined in with jokes, and a few wondered why he never fought back. Rumors started. Maybe Marcus was weak. Maybe he was scared. Maybe he was just soft. Tyler loved the attention and kept pushing further, mocking Marcus in hallways, tripping him in class, and making sure everyone knew who was in charge. What Tyler didn't realize was that every insult, every shove, every laugh was a test Marcus was silently passing. He wasn't weak, he was waiting. He was studying them, observing their patterns, and choosing the right moment, because Marcus had learned something his bullies never understood. Real strength was not about striking first. It was about knowing when to strike at all.